Coming up tonight on YCN News, a plan to help U.S. veterans find and keep meaningful work is underway in New Hampshire. 2 Democratic candidates for New Hampshire State Senate District 15 explain their views. And we'll visit the shelter behind YCN's Pet of the Week, the River Valley Animal Protection League. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then these video shots reveal volumes. I'm here outside the Market Basket store in Claremont, New Hampshire, where business has picked up after the long-awaited return of ousted CEO Arthur T. Demoulas. Since the news last week that the sale of the company to Arthur T. had been approved, shelves and parking lots have filled. As Market Basket stores in Claremont and Warner gear up to full speed, YCN News will continue to bring you any new developments. A plan to help U.S. veterans find and keep meaningful work is underway in New Hampshire. Operation Vets Connect aims to support veterans hiring throughout the state. Over the next 100 days, from today through December 10th, the benefits of hiring veterans will be made clear to employers. Operation Vets Connect is being promoted through the Office of New Hampshire Employment Security. NHES Commissioner George Kopatis and Governor Maggie Hassan issued the challenge to employers today in Concord. The goal to increase veterans hiring will enhance current efforts to hire servicemen and women. Commissioner Kopatis says that NHES will continue to host veteran-specific job fairs and help with resume writing and job searches. Governor Hassan says veterans sacrifice bravely in defense of our freedoms, and they have the character, experience, and work ethic to be an asset for any employer. Operation Vets Connect will help strengthen our civilian workforce and our economy, says Hassan, and it will ensure that all of our veterans have access to the employment opportunities that they deserve, she adds. Employers will benefit through this hiring drive. Companies with jobs to offer are asked to contact any nearby employment security office. At the end of the 100-day challenge, employers will be recognized for their participation. For more information about NHES job fairs and events, visit nhes.nh.gov. New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan has won a significant endorsement today in her race for a second term. The state branch of the National Education Association is asking its more than 16,000 members and their families to support Hassan in the November general election. Hassan will learn after the September primary next Tuesday who will run against her. Republicans Walter Havenstein and Andrew Hemingway want to become the state's next governor. Hassan says she is honored to have the NEA's support. In its announcement today, NEA&H President Scott McGilvery says Hassan has been a tireless advocate for public education in New Hampshire. These measures include freezing in-state tuition, protecting K-12 funding, and modernizing STEM education, McGilvery says about Hassan's accomplishments. Of Hassan's 2 political challengers, McGilvery does not mince words. Walt Havenstein or Andrew Hemingway would be a disaster for public education in this state, taking us back to the devastating cuts of the Bill O'Brien era. For the sake of our children's future, we cannot afford to put either one of them in the governor's office, explains McGilvery. Bill O'Brien was Speaker of the House in the New Hampshire legislature after the 2010 election. He served for 2 years. He left the legislature for a job in the private sector in August 2013. The NEA&H is the largest association of public employees in the state. It was founded in 1854. New Hampshire is one of the NEA's founding 10 states, as the NEA was established 3 years later in 1857. In local elections, 2 Democratic candidates for New Hampshire State Senate District 15 explained their views on a number of issues Sunday at Main Street Bookends in Warner. Dan Felt and Cass Ardinger seek to be the Democratic nominee who will face off against Republican Lydia Dubé Harmon in the November 4th general election. First, either Felts or Ardinger must make it through the September 9th primary. Warner is one of the 4 communities served by District 15. Ardinger served on the Concord School Board. Felts worked at the New Hampshire Legal Assistance for 8 years. Both are attorneys.
2 Democratic candidates for State Senate District 15 continue to debate one another. Today at Main Street Bookends in Warner, Dan Felt and Cass Ardinger traded their thoughts on what they would do to help the economy, the environment, and energy issues related to this part of New Hampshire. Questions that came up today include how to keep young families in the state, plus encourage businesses to move in, and what's the best long-term energy solution to allow people to live here at an affordable rate and keep the environment clean. Residents will have another chance to hear from these 2 candidates this Thursday, September 4th at New England College in Henniker. For details on that, go to nec.edu.
The warmer weather continues to entice motorcycle riders to tour back roads. Sometimes, though, not all trips go as well as planned. Yesterday, shortly after noon, a bike crash along Strafford Road in Tunbridge, Vermont, resulted in minor injuries to its operator, state police report. 42-year-old Marco Courtemange of Drummondville, Quebec, was the last motorcycle in a group of 5 riders. While coming down a hill and taking a curve in the roadway, Courtemange was unable to negotiate the curve, went off the left side of the roadway and into a ditch. He was taken to Gifford Medical Center for what appeared to be minor injuries. The crash caused minor damage to his 2002 BMW R1150 motorcycle. Courtemange was wearing a helmet, police say. Skies were sunny and the road dry when the crash happened. When YCN News returns, we'll take a look at my visit to the River Valley Animal Protection League, and we'll complete our series from the kids at the CATV Summer Video Camp in White River Junction, Vermont.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. This summer, YCN did a special series of Pet of the Week segments featuring adoptable cats from the River Valley Animal Protection League in Charlestown, New Hampshire. I decided to follow up with the shelter and make a visit to learn more about this special organization. Let's take a look. Anybody that knows me knows I love cats, so today is a special day because I'm at the River Valley Animal Protection League in Charlestown, New Hampshire with Brenda and Kara to talk about cat adoptions. Brenda, what's the adoption process like?
The adoption process is not that involved, but it's the best thing is to come into the shelter, spend some time, look at all our kitties, and then we do have an application that has to be completed, and we do some background check. If you have another pet in your home, you really have to go slow. Don't just put them in a room and expect that there's going to be instant friendship, because I don't think there is. Most people, professionals, I'm not a professional, but professionals will say that you should keep them in separate rooms for a while, that type of thing.
What's the best way to know if a pet is a good match for you?
Probably the best way is to just spend time here. We've had some nice benches put in each of our community rooms. Come in, sit down. Maybe a kitty is going to get right in your lap. I've heard that a kitty kind of chooses you.
How do you know if a pet is right for your family?
Well, there are a lot of factors involved, but one important one I would say would be, first of all, if you have any existing pets in your house, dogs or other cats, that would be a very critical issue to try and find an animal that will fit into your current dynamic at home.
So, Carol, what are some of the challenges about running an animal shelter?
Well, other than obviously there's fundraising and bringing in money to fund everything, and that's always an ongoing challenge, but, we've been doing okay. And another big challenge that we have is to try and attract and retain volunteers. We feed and clean twice a day, and always looking for responsible adults who are willing to put in a couple hours a week, one day a week to come and help us take care of the animals that we have here. Or we also have a wish list, items that help us keep the shelter running. This includes pet food, but also all kinds of cleaning supplies and office supplies, that type of thing. We always accept those kinds of donations. Also, spread the word. Tell your friends and family. We have lots of really nice animals that deserve a home here, and help us, advertise and get the word out. Please feel free to stop by during our open shelter hours. We're open to the public on Wednesdays from 5 to 7, and the first Saturday of the month from 10 to 1, or by appointment. And again, we're happy to try and accommodate someone at another time if that would work for them. Please call us and let us know.
The River Valley Animal Protection League is located in a residential area on Cummings Avenue. It might be easy to miss, but look for the big white building that's behind me. I'm Rose Spillman for YCN News, coming to you from Charlestown. Adopting a new pet is a great way to bring some extra happiness to you or your family. The River Valley Animal Protection League has a variety of loving cats just waiting to be adopted into their forever homes. If you're interested in adopting, volunteering, donating, or just spreading the word about this special shelter, go to the YCN Facebook page for a link to their website. Today, we return to the last of our video series from White River Junction, brought to you by the kids of the CATV Summer Video Camp. Today's topic centers on solar panels. How do they work? Are they expensive to install? Let's learn more.
Solar panels have become a popular way of conserving energy. However, there is more to this than meets the eye. Some people think that despite the inconveniences, you can make back your money in the long run and be using a clean alternative to fossil fuels.
Yes, I do support the use of solar panels because it's a good alternative to fossil fuels because it doesn't cause pollution.
I think we need more people buying solar energy so it becomes the norm.
If you build them domestically within the country, that you can actually provide a lot of job growth within the country to build the solar panels.
By strategically placing solar panels on town buildings, the community can benefit because they are conserving energy, helping the environment, and potentially saving money. Not only can large cities benefit, but local residents believe that our community can also take part in the act to go green.
On town buildings, I think it would be a very cost-effective way to go. I think in the long run, you make what you save in paying for electricity.
I think it's worth the cost to put solar panels on certain town buildings because our middle school is huge, so it gets a ton of sunlight, but smaller buildings might not get as much sunlight.
I think on town buildings, yes, because what happens is that it's generally owned by the government, so it's not private money.
If we had more socialized energy, we'd have a lot more efficient sort of town energy sources, and it's a lot cleaner.
On the other hand, some people have their doubts about the performance and the cost requirements necessary to install them. They wonder whether the cons outweigh the pros.
Hydroelectricity is sometimes more efficient because it can be going all time, but solar panels are mainly just for summer use.
Well, I think the cons are that they are expensive to make and that the payoff might not be equal if you're in a bad area to use them, and they break easily.
The initial cost is really expensive, and it's actually, of alternate energy sources, it's not as efficient because you lose a lot because we don't have purified enough silicon, so you lose a lot of energy to scattering.
It costs too much money to make them and install them and maintain them. Then they'll basically, their net gain is nothing. They cost more to produce and maintain than they give back.
The argument of whether solar panel investment should grow continues. and interest in the topic is increasing every day. However, attempts at the popularization are still about as effective as a solar panel on a rainy day. With CATV Video Camp, I'm Kate Mackey.
YCN News thanks our summer intern Erin McClory for her work for the station and for inspiring future generations of reporters and videographers. When YCN News returns, we'll join Upper Valley Chronicles Ann Holmes, who met with Heidi Majaro, a UVEI graduate.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now, Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we have a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 9 p.m. Skies will be cloudy with lows in the 60s. Tomorrow will be partly sunny with winds between 10 and 15 miles per hour and highs up to 80 degrees. Tomorrow night will be a little foggy after midnight with otherwise mostly clear skies and lows in the mid-50s. Thursday morning we'll have some fog until 9 a.m. Then we'll have sunny skies and a high of 82 degrees. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with lows in the 60s. As we expand to our map, we can see that there may be a chance of storms moving in tonight. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Hanover, New Hampshire and Woodstock, Vermont's farmers markets will be held at 4 p.m. In Charlestown, New Hampshire, the Select Board will meet at 6:30 p.m. At 7 p.m., the Lebanon City Council meeting will be held. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's kick off our high school sports year with special coverage from YCN's Game of the Week. Saturday was a beautiful day to start up the 2014 Vermont high school football season as Division I Brattleboro headed up I-91 to take on Division II Bellows Falls. On Bellows Falls' first possession, senior captain Carson Fulham rumbles 51 yards to put the Terriers on top 6-0. On a 4th and 9 play, sophomore QB Tony Martinez hits Zeb Leesor on the screen pass and Leesor runs 20 yards for the score. At the end of the first quarter, Brattleboro led 7-6. Early in the second quarter, Bellows Falls regains the lead on Carson Fulham's second touchdown of the day. This scamper went for 25 yards to give the Terriers a 12-7 lead. In the second half, senior captain Austin Stack pulls his way across the goal line to extend the Bellows Falls lead to 25-7. With the victory, Bellows Falls is on top of Division II and will travel to Milton on Friday. Brattleboro will try to get its first win of the season at South Burlington also on Friday night. This game will be our YCN Game of the Week, premiering on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor.
The YCN News continues in a moment.